Hey everybody, it's Doom here from Dungeons and Doom Biscuit, and I have these trees that I got at the flea market. I got them 3 for $1. She had some other crap there I wasn't interested in, and I'm just going to show you how to do these trees. I've already prepped the other 2 because I'm going to do all 3 at once. First thing you want to do is you want to have some bases too. These are just pieces I cut out of a board game, and these will be good so that my trees don't topple on the tabletop. So you just want to get a wire brush or a heat source. You can use a lighter. You just want to kind of make sure there's a rough surface for paint to stick to. And you don't have to hit every square inch of it, okay? As long as you have some roughness that, the paint will get in there and stick to it, all right? I'm going to do this the easy way. Let me see if I have any fire in my pocket. Mine are burning hand spell for the win. My blowtorch is better, but I don't have fluid in either of those. I need to get some. So I need butenes. A little bit of heat, though. Just to burn any kind of mold release or anything that's on there off, I think. I don't know why you do it. It works, though. I don't need to know why. I just need to know that it does. These might be so old and nasty and been laying around and got gunk on them that they might just work anyways, either way. All right, so you want to paint these separate. You don't want to paint these as one piece. So what you want to do is you want to do your bases first. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my glue. I'm going to get that on there. So it's pretty sturdy. I don't want it being an issue. I like using cork for these too, but I don't have any cork. Or if I do, I don't want to dig for it. I think I do actually, but I didn't want to have to climb around shit to get to it. What's nice about having a bunch of stuff that you can never get to is that it's really not great. Okay, so we want dirt on here. The easiest thing to do is always going to be baking soda because of the texture of it. It wouldn't be bad to have a little bit of dirt on here too, or a little bit of rocks on here too. So we can definitely do that as well. We get a little bit more glue in there, make sure I didn't get a good bond. Okay. And I'll just pull these off later when I'm done making these. This gives me a nice handle so I don't get shit all over me while I'm working on it. Okay, so we get this together. I'm going to get, if you have more time and you're not doing this the way I am, you can just use white glue and regular dirt or whatever you want. But because I have to always hurry because I'm making videos, I'm always hurrying. I'm out of glue in that one. Okay, that explains a lot. And we just want to get it kind of out to the edges the best we can. It doesn't have to go exactly to the edge, just borderline. Okay, I'm going to set that to the side. I'm going to get a couple small stones and make them permanently part of this. This is going to add some weight. Oop. I'm going to add a little bit of weight there. You could use some different size stones if you want to be interesting. You can get as fancy as you wanted to with that, really. Okay. I'm just going to get my baking soda. Just like that. something like that. And that should do what I need it to do pretty well. You can get a toothbrush and clean that up. I'm going to take it off camera and do it over my garbage. Okay, something like that. This is never coming off here again. This is now part of that. We'll do 3 of those. And get a little bit of it up on there if you want, like I've done. Get a couple big rocks. That just, like I said, it's just adding a little bit of weight, and it makes the terrain a little more exciting, that's all. Let me get a couple little rocks. I'm not a giant fan of using too many rocks. I'm going to brush that off. Something like that. And we have one more to do. Okay. A couple big rocks. Boof. Oh, this one's enormous. That's okay. Shout it out, I felt it in my pants. I'm talking loud and eating cheese. Oh, now if I don't like where one is, I'm just going to grab something to move it. I'm just grabbing a piece of one of these, and I'm just going to get it in a different spot. That's all. Okay. I'll put my rocks away. I'm done with those. Clean this guy off with a brush real quick. All right, so these 3 pieces just get black bombed for now, okay? You can use a dark brown and save a step if you want, but I don't do that. I just try to buy like clear coat and black and white and not too many other colors. So like I said, this part's pretty easy. We're going to air gun these. We're going to set those off to the side. They'll dry the rest of the way over here in the corner. Now with these, you can black bomb these or green bomb these or whatever color you want to use on these. You just want to kind of make sure that you keep your pieces so you know which trees are which. Okay, you don't want your trees to be identical. So I have 3 of those pieces. Like that, okay? Something like that. That's what my trees to be, you know, good to go. I'm just going to use a bin that's broken. I'm going to set these in here. You don't have to worry about the bottoms as much, but you gotta, you know, the tops are the important part. Whoops. Now you can actually just clear coat these if you want, and so for paint to stick to them, or you can use that clear coat's empty. Or you can use black or brown or whatever you have. Green. I don't know if I even have any of those kind of colors right now. Like I said, I try to just only buy black, clear, and white. I do have some other colors that I buy for specific projects, but just what I keep in stock. I don't do anything too fancy. Okay, got a clear coat on those. Let me get my lid. And I'm just going to dry those off with the hot air gun real quick. Should I be wearing a mask? Yeah. Am I a little high? Yeah. I'm not really high, I'm just a little lightheaded, it's okay. Okay. And as you can see, those are pretty much dry, good enough for government work. We'll relocate these back out here, and we'll keep continuing on our journey. You don't really need to worry about the underside of these because you don't so much see it. I noticed I have some spots here that aren't dry all the way. I'm going to hit that with a hair gun real quick. That might be super glue that leached out, so I'm just going to get my brush here. They had the super glue on it. I'm just going to rub that around so it dries quickly. I don't think I had any other wet spots anywhere that I'm aware of, but I will just get that. Okay. I'm going to hit this with the air gun and set it off to the side. Notice that's still wet, so I'm pretty sure that is super glue. That is just leaching out. Okay, let's get some dark brown paint. And we'll just grab a random piece of cardboard. And using a damp, kind of big brush for coverage, I'm just going to paint everything on the bases in the tree part brown, dark brown. And I don't care if I get every little hole and crack on the tree, it won't hurt anything. Okay, something like that. Set it off to the side and let's do it again. Oh, that one's the one that was wet. I'm going to let that cool for a minute, or dry for a minute more, just in case. Okay. And we're done with that for now. I'm going to throw that brush away. Not away, but, in my water. We'll hit these with the air gun real quick to promote them to start drying more quickly. And then we'll come back and deal with those in a minute. Okay, those will dry off here in the corner. And let's work on these things. Okay, so all I'm going to do is I'm going to get some cardboard. I'm starting with this English Ivy green. And a big brush. And as I get them done, I'm going to put them in my bin here. Now you can paint the undersides too if you're so motivated. I am not. Oops. This is a little bit wet. That's all right. I don't think it's going to make a giant difference, if we're going to be honest. You just want to make sure that any of the bright green spots are half-ass covered up, really. Need a little more of my English Ivy green. You can use any green you like. I like this English Ivy. It's got like this OD kind of olive drab kind of feel to it. It gives me some comfort. It reminds me of the Army. A place where I was happy. I was young. And there was always something going on to make the days go by. I do miss the Army in some ways, for sure. Not everything about the Army. I don't miss being taken away from my family for long periods of time or having to go to places where people wanted to shoot at you. Maybe you had to do a little bit of retributive shooting back or whatever. I think I would have been more of a I think I was more geared to be born in a different era. I think I'd have been happier fighting a different way than we did. I mean, guns are okay, but they're loud and they take a lot of maintenance. You can't lose them. It's not like you have a sheath to put your rifle in, You're laying it down so you can do stuff. I suppose you'd lose a sword just as much. I never really lost my rifle, but there were people that did. We call them LTs and privates. So I'm going to take those and I'm going to dry those off with my hot air gun. I'm setting my cardboard off to the side. And these will just set those off to dry over here. Let's come back and look at these. These are mostly dry, so that'll do what we want it to do. Let's get our cardboard back. I'm going to get another makeup brush. And a medium brown. Okay, so I'm going to start with just a little bit. I'm going to smear that around on here. I'm going to break up my ground layer a little bit. I need a better brush. Hold on. I can't find my makeup brushes. Where did I put them at? Can't find them. Can't find my magic one. La 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 la. Can't find the one I want. We use this one here. And we use this cardboard piece. There we go. Anything like that will suffice. Don't sweat about the stones, because we're going to come back and do those differently later. Just make sure you get your base broke up and looking good. See that? It's going to look all right. Okay, we're going to leave that brush out because we're not done with it. We're going to hit these with hot air real quick. Okay, we're going to get our light brown we just had. We're going to leave that right there. We're going to get a little bit of beige mix in with that, just a little bit. We're going to use that same brush. Okay. We're going to get a lot of that off. Then we're going to hit our trees again, just real half-ass, and lighten them up again. So they're a different tone than the base a little bit. Okay, something like that. Nothing too spectacular. And then we're going to get kind of a thicker brush, and we're going to do our stones and pavement. Pavement is my favorite color. We're going to do our rocks and pavement. The damp brush. And these don't have to be perfect. You just want to make sure you kind of hit them up. When you're making terrain and stuff, what you really want to do is you want to focus on the fact that this is theater. You're just painting a scene. The adventure and the action should be the main focus. So if you're spending hours perfecting a tree, I'm sorry that you have prioritized that. But if that's what you enjoy doing, by all means. I'm hoping to have these all done, I don't know, within 40 minutes. 3 nice looking trees for the tabletop, maybe. That's my dream. I want to play some more Kingdom Come Deliverance. I want to unlock all the side stuff and figure out everything you can do in it before I start the second one, which I've had for quite a while, I guess. I didn't realize I had bought it and never played it. Okay. Something like that. Then we'll leave these off to dry. Leave those to dry. We're going to hit them with the air gun real quick before we set them off to the side, though. Let's get these things back out. Now you notice we have a nice two-tone already. Just from using that thin paint. And you could put them on right like that if you wanted. Nobody would judge you. Well, somebody might judge you. I won't. Now I want to get my ivy green that I had earlier. I want to get a little bit of that. Then I want to mix something a little lighter or a little darker. But I'm going with a little lighter. That's too wet. There we go. Something like this. Just like that. I don't know where all my damn brushes are. I have kids, so they really could be anywhere at this point. Okay, so I'm just mixing this and making something a little lighter. And I'm not hitting everywhere. Okay, then I'm going to get a little bit more light green. Just a shade lighter. And I already have it in my brush. So I think if I just kind of come around here in a couple spots and create a little more variation. It might look okay. You could definitely come over these with a green wash if you had one, and it might look really sick. I'm not making a green wash, though I do have something I might use. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. The problem is I try not to use all the things I have because I don't know what you have. So I try to use, like, you know, pretty realistic shit that everybody can get. Those definitely have a nice variation. Let me bring this camera down a little bit. These definitely have a nice variation. They're going to look okay. All right. Now, back to these bad boys. They can't be left like this, right? I'm just going to get a piece of card, buried. In that lighter gray. I'm looking for a color called Elephant. There it is. I'm going to get this Elephant gray. Like that. And I'm with a smaller brush. I'm going to go in that brown in case it picks a little bit of that back up and reactivates it. Just like that. I'm going to hit my rocks with that. I call this fantasy realism because, you know, rocks are always different colors and look different, but I just make them all with like a dark gray and a light gray, so they just kind of go together. And this tree might be a little older, so I'm going to take some of that gray with a little of that brown, and I'm going to make this tree look a little different. And I like the way it looks, so I might do that to all these. Since I don't have any trees that have this exact gray tone to them. Something like that. Okay. I like it, I like it, I like it. All right, let's set these. Let's hit them with the air gun, actually. And then we're going to put flock on them. Okay. So for my flock, I'm just going to get a piece of cardboard. I'm going to get some clear glue. And I want to get a little bit up on there. I want to try to use my clear glue and my flock to hide that seam. And I want to come up on that base some and kind of make it look more congruous. Okay. I don't want it to be omega thick, but that happens sometimes. And you can use one flock or many colors of flock. Just make this your own. If you don't have flock, you can play some games with some paint and some dry brushing and try to add some green down here. Or you can make some flock if you want to. Or you can just use store-bought stuff. Or you can use, for example, Italian seasoning or dill weed. I'm going to put that in there for this part. This is dill weed. You can see how that looks. See that? You could definitely use that. It's not bad looking. You could add a few different flavors of flock to it if you really wanted. Something a little brighter maybe. Something like that. And depending on how much time you want to put into coating this, you can get some pretty different results too, okay? On this side, I'm going to use dill just a little bit on one part of it. And I'm going to use some of that same flock I just used. I'm going to get a different color, a darker. Okay. Something like that. Whoops. And my flocks never stay one color, by the way, because I get lazy and do that and mix it in. And eventually they'll all be one color, I'm sure. All right, so this last one, we'll do the same shit we've done previously on Road Rules. I really want to have these done at 40 minutes at the max. That's my goal. I also want to get in the hot tub today after I get some chores done as well, now that I think about it. So I want to play Kingdom Come. I want to sit in the hot tub. I want to drink some beer. I can do that during all that stuff, though. I can make that kind of a fun multitask. Instead of using my dill weed, this is something I have called Spring Fling. It's just kind of a light and fun color. I'm going to add some of that darker on top. Okay. Now, what are you thinking? When these are dry, and I mean dry, let them sit for half a day or overnight. Clear coat them. Okay, clear coat them. It's worth it. You're going to use them a lot probably. So we need to find our 3 tree pieces. So we have the big one, the long one, and the small one. Let's assemble our trees back. So I'm going to make all mine facing the same way so I don't make my trees identical. So on this one I have the smallest branch here. I'm going to do my long piece, just like that. My short piece, and I'm going to twist it so it's kind of angled down. Then my big piece. And I'm just going to find a way to stick it on there. Okay. And I'm just going to arrange that in such a way that it looks interesting. And I'm going to do the same thing again. This time I'm going to do my long piece kind of sideways on this one, on my second tallest branch. I'm going to do my short piece, my small piece over here on the short branch. Just like that. There we go. And I'm going to kind of have this one flopping forward. Okay, I'm going to twist those around a little bit so it doesn't look identical to that one. They always look a little bit the same, right? I don't know how to handle this one any different, honestly. Guess it's just kind of how this tree looks. My other ones seem like you could kind of, the other ones I did seem like they were a little easier to work with. All right, so something like that. Now, if you want these branches, this is something that you might not have, that I have. I have, to look for a piece of plastic. Here we go. I have something called military wash, or military shader maybe, military shader. And I don't know how this is going to look, but I'm going to get some of that on here. And I'm going to add some speed paint medium to it. And I've never done this before on my trees. This is going to be a new thing I'm trying, and I think it might look okay. So I'm going to mix that up. And this is just a green wash. And I'm going to kind of hit everything with that and see if it looks cool. I might do it to all 3 of them. I don't know yet. I hate using nice products on terrain. Could have made a wash, I suppose. Could have just used some urethane mixed with some green dye, too. Didn't even think of that. Oh, well. And I think that looks really rich and nice. When it dries, it might look even better. We'll see in a minute if it's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Just make sure I get around the edges. I think that looks okay. I don't think it's necessary, but it looks okay. Now, when these are completely dry, before you clear coat them, putting a drop of super glue so that they don't come apart is not a bad idea. I've done that on my other ones, or maybe I used hot glue. I don't remember what I used, but I did use something on my other ones so they wouldn't fall apart or come apart or move. Okay. Something like that. It looks okay. I wouldn't call it a necessary thing, but it's not bad. Not bad. Okay. On these other ones, I just don't think I'm going to do it. I am going to wait till they dry for a day, and I'm going to clear coat them for sure. And I'm going to have some nice trees. Let's hold this up so we can get a look at the trees. 40 minutes-ish. I think we went over. But if I hadn't done that, 40 minutes, 3 nice looking trees for your tabletop. They're not going to be knocked over easily. The rocks and the game board bases, give them some sturdiness. So thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, share, hit the notification bell icon, and all that happy crappy that helps the channel grow. Leave comments. I do love those, and I try to answer them all. If I miss your comment, it's because I'm a piece of shit, not because of anything you've done wrong. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.